Every season begins the same way, with a whistle, a tip, and the sound of possibility bouncing on polished hardwood. But opening night is different. It's the moment when summer dreams meet the chill of October air, when every team still believes, why not us? Tonight in Oklahoma City, belief has turned into something more tangible. A banner waiting to rise, a ring waiting to gleam. The Thunder are champions now, young, bold, and intent on proving that last season wasn't lightning in a bottle, but the beginning of a reign. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, calm and calculating. Chet Holmgren, the long shadow in the paint. And across the court, the Houston Rockets. A new chapter begins tonight with the debut of Kevin Durant, the newest star in Houston's arsenal, alongside the ever-dynamic Jalen Green. They don't care who's celebrating, they came to compete, to make a statement on the season's first night. Later, the lights shift west to Los Angeles, where stars and storylines are never in short supply. The Lakers start a season without LeBron James, but Luka Doncic now takes the stage. The young, transcendent talent tasked with carrying a franchise in a city's hopes. And waiting for them, the Golden State Warriors. Not a team of legends, but a duo that defines an era. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, still dangerous, still defiant, still capable of turning a night into a masterclass. Two cities. 4 teams. Endless questions, all waiting to be answered on the floor. The curtain rises. The story begins. And the beauty of opening night is that for one fleeting moment, every team still believes their time is now. Tonight, the curtain rises on a brand new NBA season, and while every team begins with hope, only one enters with a banner to raise. Greetings from our Temecula studios. I'm Ryder Bullock. Welcome to the Hardwood Report. After a long summer of anticipation, the wait is over. The Houston Rockets, fresh off a flawless 4-0 preseason, take center stage in Oklahoma City, where the reigning champion Thunder will unveil their 24-25 title banner. Headlining tonight's matchup, the reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a man who averaged nearly 33 points a game last season and led OKC to the promised land. But standing in his way is one of the league's premier perimeter defenders, Amen Thompson. The Rockets wing earned all defensive honors last year, and tonight he'll be tasked with slowing down the NBA's most electric scorer. And speaking of electricity, how about this for a jolt? Kevin Durant and Steven Adams, two former Thunder stars, now suiting up for Houston. Durant, in particular, looked vintage in his lone preseason outing, 20 points in 23 minutes, shooting a blistering 70% from the field. The Slim Reaper is back, and he's got a new crew. That crew, historic. Rockets head coach Ime Udoka announced his starting five Monday afternoon, and it's officially the tallest in NBA history. Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, and Steven Adams, all standing 6'7" or taller with an average height of 6'10". That's not a lineup, that's a wall. Now the question becomes, who runs the show? Sengun, the all-star center, showcased his playmaking powers during the preseason, while Thompson flashed signs of being a capable floor general. Tonight, we begin to find out who truly orchestrates Houston's offense. Oklahoma City, meanwhile, will be without starting guard Jalen Williams. That opens the door for either veteran Alex Caruso or rising star Carson Wallace to step into the spotlight. And with the Rockets towering over them, the Thunder will need every ounce of grit and execution to defend their crown. So here we are, opening night. The champs raise their banner. The challengers arrive with size, swagger, and a future Hall of Famer. And somewhere in the middle, the next chapter of NBA greatness begins. Tip-off of the Rockets and Thunder NBA opening night coming your way in about 25 minutes from now. That is not the only game, though, on our slate. The second act of tonight's NBA doubleheader brings us to the City of Angels, where the Lakers begin a season of redemption against the Golden State Warriors. It's been 173 since the Lakers were bounced from the playoffs by Minnesota, and tonight they return with a new look, a new mindset, and a new mission. LeBron James will not be in uniform, sidelined with a nerve injury, but in his place, Luka Doncic steps into the spotlight. The former MVP candidate now leads a revamped Lakers roster that includes Ayton, Gabe Vincent, and Austin Reeves, all ready to prove that this team is deeper, sharper, and more dangerous than the one that fell short last spring. Across the court, the Warriors arrive with championship aspirations of their own. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green from the core of a team that went 23-8 after acquiring Butler last February and posted the league's best defense in that stretch. They're healthy, they're physical, and they're ready. This is no ordinary season opener. It is a Pacific Division class, a battle of superstars, and a test of depth. With LeBron out, Doncic will carry the offensive load for Los Angeles, but the question remains, can the Lakers defend well enough to keep Curry from going nuclear? Jared Vanderbilt, Marcus Smart, and Gabe Vincent will be tasked with slowing down the Warriors' off-ball movement and transition attack, and with Anthony Davis no longer anchoring the paint, the Lakers will need to play harder and smarter on the defensive ends. J.J. Redick, starting five of Doncic, Vincent, Reeves, Hachimura, and Ayton will look to set the tone early, but Golden State, even with a few lineup questions, has the edge in size and continuity. Brandon Podinskis, a frequent standout in L.A., may get the nod tonight. Beyond the stars, the Lakers bench will be under the microscope. Can Jake LaRava make an immediate impact? Will Ayton dominate the glass? And is Austin Reeves ready to be a reliable second option? One thing's for sure. This isn't just a game, it's a statement. The Lakers have lost 8 of their last 9 opening nights. Tonight they look to flip the script, and with division implications already in play, there's no better time to start stacking wins than now. Lakers, Warriors, Doncic, Curry, the stakes are high, the stars are out, and the season begins now. That game coming up later tonight. We'll have more on that game at halftime of the Rockets Thunder. That game coming your way in less than 30 minutes. The Thunder tonight are getting their banners, their rings, and in a league built on dynasties, dominance, and the occasional dose of drama, something remarkable has happened. For 7 straight seasons, the NBA has crowned 7 different champions. It's equality. It's rare. It's refreshing and fleeting, and has defined this era of basketball. But as the winds shift and the banners settle, one team stands alone, not just as defending champions, but as the hunted, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Built not in haste, but with vision. Led not by ego, by execution. The Thunder have become the blueprint and perhaps the next great NBA dynasty. Tonight we take you inside the storm, a look at the team too young to know its limits and maybe too good to ever find them. There's a hum to the NBA right now, not a roar, not a whisper, but something in between. It's the sound of balance. 7 different champions in 7 years, a revolving door at the top of the basketball world. Equality, they call it. Not since Kevin Durant's Warriors has a defending champion even returned to the conference finals. But here in Oklahoma City, that hum is starting to rise into something else. A steady, low thunder. The Thunder, young, audacious, and impossibly composed, are fresh off their first NBA title, and for the first time in nearly a decade, league general managers seem to agree this might not be just another one-year story. 80% of them believe the Thunder will repeat in the 25-26 season, in a league that often resists consensus. That's as close as it gets to prophecy. Maybe this is as good as it gets. History says that today's NBA, the moment you win your first title, is the moment you start to slide back down the hill. The Nuggets said they'd win 3 or 4. The Celtics, wounded and expensive, are now stuck somewhere between yesterday's glory and tomorrow's uncertainty. The air up there, atop the mountain, gets thin fast. And Oklahoma City's 68-14 masterpiece, the 5th best record in league history, might prove hard to match. They set a record for point differential, and even that came with a touch of good fortune. Opponents shot below expectations from deep, a reminder that sometimes even champions need a bounce or two. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, last season's MVP, played 99 games between October and June. Few players in the modern NBA survived that kind of grind without something giving way. But then again, this is not a typical team. These Thunder are young, deep, built to last. Only 2 players on the roster are over 27. They return 99% of their playoff minutes. Their chemistry is deepening. Their coach, Mark Dingelnot, is evolving. And their 2 7-footers, Holmgren and Hartenstein, have barely scratched the surface of what they might become together. Last season, the Thunder learned how to win. This season, they might learn how to dominate. We've seen this story before. The 2015 Warriors won 67 games, then 73 the next. History's lone example of a team with 64 wins improving the next season. The parallels between those Warriors and these Thunder: youth, depth, and selflessness, and a style that blurs the lines between art and analytics. There's a sense that the 25-26 season could be Oklahoma City's masterpiece before the financial realities of success begin to squeeze. When the extensions kick in, when the balance sheet starts to tighten, the front office might have to make sacrifices. For now, they're rich in both talent and time. And then there's the scariest possibility of all, that these Thunder haven't peaked yet. Their championship rotations age 24.7 years old, 4 full years younger than the average title team over the last 4 decades. That's not a team at its peak. That's a team at the beginning. Chet Holmgren already defends the rim like a seasoned veteran, while Jalen Williams looks destined for superstardom. And Gilgeous-Alexander, he's the rare player who blends artistry and relentlessness, the kind of player around whom eras are built. Sam Presti, Oklahoma City's architect, still holds a drawer full of future draft picks, lottery tickets in a league where youth is currency. It's entirely possible that the Thunder of 2028 or 2029 might be even better than the one we just watched climb the mountaintop. History supports the idea. The Bulls of 96, the Lakers of 01, the Warriors of 17 all reached their zenith after their first ring. So, here stands Oklahoma City, a small market team on the cusp of something enormous, a franchise that has already rewritten one chapter of its history and now flirts with the idea of writing a whole new book. Will this be a dynasty in bloom, or just another flicker in the age of equality? We don't know yet. But what we do know is that the league, for all its unpredictability, has always been drawn to stories like these, where the noise of the crowd fades, the cameras tighten in, and somewhere between destiny and doubt, the thunder begin to rumble again. The Oklahoma City Thunder may not play in the largest market, and their MVP may not be a household name yet, but make no mistake, they are the gold standard in today's NBA. The reigning champions enter the season as a clear plus 245 title favorites and are a 6.5-point favorite to win tonight. Before we get to keys to the game, I just do want to say that the NBA season is back. We've made it. And after a summer of speculation, seismic trades, and nearly $800 million in extensions, the Oklahoma City Thunder return to the Hardwood tonight, 7:30 Eastern, to begin their title defense. The reigning champs, led by the 2025 MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, All-Star Jalen Williams, and the ever-evolving Chet Holmgren, are no longer the hunters. They're the hunted. And their first challenger, none other than Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. Yes, that Kevin Durant, the former face of the Thunder franchise, now in Rockets red. He returns to Oklahoma City not as a hero, but as a disruptor, a banner raiser turned banner ruiner, perhaps. Because while the Thunder were the best team in the West last season, dominant from wire to wire, the Rockets were quietly building. 16 games back in the standings, but one blockbuster away from relevance. That blockbuster came this summer, and it came with Durant's name on it. So now, on the very night OKC raises its championship banner, Durant and the Rockets have a chance to crash the party, to spoil the celebration, and to send a message. Wow. Tonight, also, the Golden State Warriors with Stephen Curry and new running mate Jimmy Butler tip off their first full campaign together. It's a final push for dynasty that's defined the last decade. Their opponent, Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that's retooled, reloaded, and ready to reclaim its place among the West's elite. And speaking of elite, don't sleep on the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is back after a health scare that shook the league. Now with a retooled roster and a renewed sense of purpose, the Spurs face off against Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and the Dallas Mavericks in a matchup that feels more like a glimpse into the NBA's future than a regular season opener. That's what we'll have for you in the coming days. Out east, the Cleveland Cavaliers return battle-tested with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, even Mobley, and Jared Allen. That powered them to 64 wins and the number one seed last season. But they'll open against a New York Knicks team that's all in, finals or bust. It's been 27 years since the Knicks reached the NBA's biggest stage. Could this be the year? We will see. We'll have the Knicks for you later this week as well. Will SGA and the Thunder repeat and begin a dynasty? Can Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets reclaim their throne? Will the Knicks finally break through in the East, or is this the year a dark horse, maybe Houston, maybe Dallas, maybe even Cleveland, rises to the top? It's now time for NBA season predictions. To win the wide open Eastern Conference, I am going with the New York Knicks. And because they are the only ones that are coming back with a constant, right, of Jalen Brunson, Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. I know they've got a new coach, and that's a little inconsistent, but those three guys are back. They're the only ones right now at full strength. And I think that full strength is going to be the difference come June. In the West, and the West is hard. It's a gauntlet. It is anybody could win the West, but I gotta say, until proven otherwise, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I have no reason to believe why this Thunder team can't go back to back. So you heard it here on October 21st, NBA opening night. Thunder beat the Knicks in 6 games. That is my NBA season prediction. Now that we got that out of the way, here are tonight's keys to the game. For Oklahoma City, control the pace early. The Thunder are raising their banner tonight, and history shows that emotion can be a double-edged sword. In 4 of the last 5 seasons, defending champs have failed to cover the second quarter spread on opening night. OKC must avoid the adrenaline crash and stay composed. Bench production matters. OKC ranked second last season in second quarter scoring and margin. With Jalen Williams out, depth will be tested. Look for Carson Wallace and Alex Caruso to stabilize the rotation. And finally, defend the paint. Stretch the floor. Houston's towering lineup, 4 starters at 6'11", will challenge OKC's rim protection. Chet Holmgren must anchor the defense and force Houston's bigs to move laterally. For Houston, Durant's spacing effect. When Steven Adams and Sengun shared the floor last season, Houston's net rating jumped by 32.7 points. But spacing was an issue. Enter Kevin Durant. His presence opens the floor and unlocks the double big potential. Amen Thompson's playmaking with Fred VanVleet out for the season. Thompson inherits point guard duties. He's not a traditional facilitator, but his preseason showed us some promise. Houston's offense will hinge on his ability to initiate and adapt. And finally, contain SGA without fouling. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 32.7 points last season. He's the free throw merchant. We know that. The Rockets must defend with discipline, especially Thompson, who will be tasked with shadowing the MVP. Foul trouble could unravel Houston's defensive game plan. Here are tonight's betting angles to watch. First half total, 110.5. This line offers value. OKC games often slowed in the second half last season due to elite halftime adjustments. Expect early scoring, then a defensive grind. Second quarter trend. Despite the hype, defending champs have covered the second quarter spread just once in the last 5 years. OKC is favored by 1.5 in quarter 2, but be aware the emotional dip. SGA under 31.5 points. I like that with Houston's length and Thompson's defense fading. The MVP's scoring total may be a sharp play. Here are tonight's picks. I like the Thunder to win at home and give me the Warriors to beat the Lakers. So whether you're watching for the matchups, the milestones, or the money line, tonight's opener offers plenty to unpack. Rockets Thunder, size versus speed, youth versus experience, and maybe a glimpse at the next great NBA rivalry. That'll do it for the Hardwood Report. I'll see you at halftime. For now, we send you to the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, where Mike Tirico, Reggie Miller, and Jamal Crawford have the call.